Shit. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's what's going on. Besides my dog barking. Hey, it's Saturday morning, and he knows he's going to swim. So I have a bunch of friends that come and join me while I'm working on variant cover for All-Star by Milan Kovacs and Steve Fabian, I believe is the artist, and it's pretty cool, man. It's a really good comic. So on the Facebook Kickstarter right now, there's a Facebook page too. But there's the address, so you want to go over there and get yourself in on this. So I've gotten this far. I'm going to basically show what how I got here, and then I'm going to set it up on Photoshop and optimize it, and then color it. Okay. Usually, probably using my little watercolor technique that I've been developing over the last several months. That works out pretty well for me. And so, I guess sooner or later, these guys are going to show up. Let's see. Let me see if I can see what the villain. So let's see. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. Okay, I just sent it to him, so he should be able to come in now. There he is. There he is. I'm going to add it. Hey, Milan.
Hey. So
I better put it on my hair. You don't have to listen to that. How you doing?
I hope I won't make an echo because I won't use this.
Okay, no problem.
Headphone thingy. Anyway, hi everyone. Hi David.
Hey Dylan. This is our first get together on my little live stream, which is I've been going a couple of months, and I've been following your exploits on Kickstarter, and you are rocking and rolling.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Well, actually, I wanted to say I'm sorry for my Mike Patton from Faith No More hairstyle, but it's really hot here today. And I just came out from the shower, so.
It's usually hot here. We're, it's only like 84 degrees here, which is.
I have no idea what that means, because we use Celsius here in Europe.
That would be about, let me see, about, I can actually do 84 degrees. 84.
I was actually here before, but I didn't know that I had to click on the enter the broadcast. But
I'm glad it's 28 degrees here.
28. Oh yeah, here it's right now it's 31.
Well, that's not good. That's and it's probably humid too.
And in the middle of the day it was 33.5 or something like that.
Yeah, that's close to body temperature. It's not fun.
I had a bit of trouble setting up my scene because I'm right now I'm at home but I couldn't get too far from the camera for my T-shirt to be seen. But
we ought to put up a brand or something like that. But
yeah,
I've got your URL streaming on the bottom of the screen, so that should help people.
Oh, I see. That's awesome. This is the short version, actually. It's just www.allstarcomic.com.
Yeah, let me fix that then.
It's a little bit easier to remember if you plan to back the project, which I would be very much appreciating. I have no idea how you'll start digitally painting the cover, the variant cover you did for us, because not all artists can draw or color and speak simultaneously at the same time.
Do we have Steven coming in?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think so. I just he just read my message, but I don't think he clicked the button either.
Yeah, you can just forward that link to him, and it'll bring him in.
So Tommy is traveling today, our colorist, Tommy Varga, who for 4 years he has been working with Kevin Eastman on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So he's really experienced.
He's I mean, to me, he's the best because he's local. And he's pretty famous as well.
That's good. That's good.
So the URL is still not good. It's AllStarComic.com.
See, you need me. You need to correct me all the time. Let's see.
Sorry.
AllStarComic.
I have no idea what AllStars.com, but
I don't know. Probably.
I hope it's not something like
yeah, like AllStarComics.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got it.
Oh no, it's without the S. Sorry, it's AllStarComic. Just comic.
Okay, do it again.
Non-plural. So how are you today?
I'm great. I don't have to teach until Tuesday, so I'm happy. I got a small class right now, so I don't really have to do too much. Got everything set up. And I've been doing this for so many years that once you get all the little things put in place, it's like it's like auto. It's like going to an automat and getting your sandwich.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now the URL is correct. That's
okay,
for Tortling. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it HTTPS? Usually it is.
I think it's just without the S.
Usually HTTPS will work, but let's not.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about this one because it's just a redirect URL, so it's not like regular thing.
Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Awesome. For
everybody
the
needs an editor.
prize.
Yeah, everybody needs an editor. So I'll tell you what. Why don't I go through? I'll just do this.
Oh,
get rid of this, great. And then I'll show the development of the cover.
Awesome.
And then you tell me about the comic, where it comes from, and everything you want to say. This is the first thing I did. I sit in here, and I'm gonna do something from Milan.
So that's actually Jimmy, the main character in our book Not All Stars Are Bright. This subtitle, because All Star is the main title and Not All Stars Are Bright is the subtitle, is because we plan to do a sequel not long after the Kickstarter. We are starting on a sequel to this comic. Anyway, so this is Jimmy, I presume, from the comic. And Jimmy is like he just started high school, and he doesn't really find his place in the world or in his class, and he doesn't really know anybody in his class because he's a shy guy, and I would say not too talkative. I mean, he's not the guy who makes fun of others or anything like that. He doesn't like to bully anybody. He's just a regular guy. He doesn't have good grades. He's like an average student.
We've been there.
And this is perfect because this guy, who we only see from the bust and below, is All-Star, a superhero, if I can say that. And he's the creation of Jimmy Hand. That's his full name, Jimmy Hand. And it's funny that these names in the comic are like speaking names. I don't know if you have the word that in English, have that expression, but in Hungarian we use it like beszélőnév, which is speaking name, and that means that
like a nickname.
No, it's not like a nickname. It's more like that's his real family name, Hand. And it speaks about him just a little bit. So we give away that he likes to use his hands to draw, and that's one of the Easter eggs I hid in the comic.
Cool.
Let me check just a little bit. Fabe is coming soon.
Wonderful.
He just said okay. So
cool.
I presume he's preparing his gear. Anyway, so All-Star is like another main character in the story, because even though Jimmy just imagines All-Star is real and he's just drawing All-Star in his own comic book, but if you read the comic, in the first few pages, you can see that every time Jimmy comes up with something in his own story, it somehow, how can I say that? Somehow
manifests.
Yeah, exactly. His real world. So it has a kind of power over his real life as well, and.
Cool.
And vice versa. So it's the other way around. It works as well.
Cool,
so
I like that.
Whenever he's getting bullied in school or in math class, because I don't know, he somehow likes math. That's his superpower. And he just gets better and better in time. And I don't really want to say everything about the book or tell the whole story, but in the end, it's really, really hard to tell for the reader or for Jimmy what's real and what's in his fantasy world.
There's Steve. Let me add Steve.
I can't wait to see him.
Welcome, Steve.
Yeah. Hey.
Welcome. Hello. Hey.
So that's Steve Fabian, or artist for All-Star.
Wonderful. Hello. Like your work, Stephen. Thank you.
So just to let you know, Steve, I was just talking about the story of the comic, and I was talking about All-Star and Jimmy and how they essentially, complement each other. Like one is a superhero, big bulky guy. The other is an average guy from, how can I say that? I don't know the word. Sorry. Like next door guy.
Yeah, he's like the guy next door.
Guy next door, yeah.
The guy next door.
Yeah, so I was just talking about this, and maybe Faye can enlighten us about designing these characters for the book or something like that. I don't know what he wants to speak about. Nothing.
Nothing really. I want to watch what's going on.
Well, I'm piggybacking
But I can
on
talk.
Steve's creation.
Actually, what's the question?
I'm piggybacking on Steve's creation now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, we got you.
Perfect.
And so now I'm doing my version of All Star. I started it out of my little sketchbook, and I guess I didn't. Let me see. This was. Did I have this open? Yeah. I'll just show Steve the first thing I did. If I still have it open.
Yeah, you just showed me. Maybe you quit that file.
Not that one. Nope, not that one. Okay, we'll try this one. There.
Yeah.
Just this little thing that I started doing in my sketchbook. I just kept on erasing, and you know, I guess we all do that. Just erase until you get it right. And I came up with this, and now I have to clean it up. It's sort of like a recipe show, you know, where
Are you working with digital tools or? This is like
well, I start out with a mechanical pencil. I use Bic mechanical pencils. I don't know if they have Bic mechanical pencils over in Europe, but they get their lead from France, and it's just like a regular lead pencil, except you don't have to sharpen it. And I got the whole idea from Alex Toth, who did that. And I love Alex Toth.
Another Hungarian.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Alex Toth was also from Hungary. I mean,
Really?
Not him.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Is that his
but
ancestors?
his parents. Yeah.
I think he even might have been. Let me check.
Yeah, I have.
He even had to speak Hungarian, I think.
He may have actually been an immigrant. Cool.
Let me check. I'm gonna check because I don't want to say something stupid.
Yeah, it says his parents were immigrants from Hungary, and they were from the Slovakian minority in Hungary. His
Ooh.
father's name was Sándor Tóth. It's like S-A-N-D-O-R.
Uh-huh. That's about as cool as it gets. Because I learned how to read from reading Zorro comics.
Yeah, and did you know that there is a Zorro comic in Hungarian as well?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, from a Hungarian writer and artist and colorist.
Look,
Great. That's
very,
wonderful.
very. I'm reading the Wikipedia, and it's very sad. It says that Alex Toth died on his drawing table on May 27, 2006 from a heart attack.
Yeah.
So he actually died working.
Yeah, better to die in bed with your family around you, but
Yeah, for sure.
but he got treated so badly by the comics corporations and everything, and he said going and becoming a storyboard artist for Hollywood just was so much better. It's tough being that's why indie comics are cool, because the artists and creators in control.
Well, yeah, he was a genius. He has a really big fan base, even today.
He's the only artist I know of who makes reading romance comics interesting.
And that's a big thing, yeah.
His romance comics were just absolutely so beautifully drawn. You didn't care who got the girl or who got the guy. Just looking at the drawings.
Yeah. And he was a really big name in animation as well, of course.
Yeah, he won the Space Coast, Johnny
Yeah.
Quest. There's a it may be a there's an Alex Toth archive that I go to all the time just because
Really?
I can't get enough of this guy. I think it's Brazilian. I think it's the Brazilian side, but it's in both English and Portuguese.
Oh, that's cool.
It has everything he ever did, which means he's got the real McCoys. He's got the Lennon sisters. He's got the things that wouldn't mean anything to anybody who isn't my age. The Lennon sisters were.
Yeah, I never heard about those.
The Lennon sisters were 3 or 4 girls who sang on the Lawrence Welk show, which was a big show back in the 1950s. And he's a Polish big band leader, but he did polkas. And your parents would love polkas. My generation just couldn't get into Lawrence Welk. So the Lennon sisters had one sister that I had a horrible crush on. Oh yeah, that's normal, I guess so. And that's Funicello and Lennon sisters.
And do you know how many Hungarian-born or Hungarian descendants work in comics right now? Because there's like a ton of them.
Wow.
There's like Paul Gula. I don't know the exact pronunciation in English because I always say it in Hungarian. But Paul Gulaci, like G-U-L-A-C-Y, Gulaci. Do you know him?
No, I sort of like abandoned comics back in the 70s. And I would read comics and stuff like that. I knew that Frank Miller had kind of made a big splash back in the 80s. But by the time the mid 80s came around, I got written up in Comics Journal, just a little blurb in a drama professor at Arizona State did this thing on New Wave Comics. So I was a part of the underground comics scene back in the 70s. He decried the idea that I had left comics because he thought I could have been a big deal. But by the time I read this, I said, so what? Because I had such horrible experience. I had horrible experiences as an underground cartoonist. I finished my book, got it published, but it was no big deal. I had a real hard time getting it published. I went to Rip Off Press, and Gilbert Shelton was really nice to me. I was like 20 years old. Really nice. I watched him do Furry Freak Brothers comic strip for the week of probably late October 1973, because he's several weeks ahead. And I learned a lot about comics just watching Gilbert Shelton. And it was just like really cool. It wasn't so much the way he drew, because I wasn't terribly much into. Didn't draw the way he did, but the way he paced comics, the way he used things, he's really good. And then, but I just got out of it. And so I know a few people, everybody knows who Jim Lee is, things like that. And I got into a few other underground things like Yellow Dog. But things that might not mean anybody today. When I decided to go back into comics, I just started doing this stuff. So I'm kind of, you guys are probably going to educate me on a lot of the comics that's going on.
Well, it looks like it. Anyway, I just wanted to say with this thing about Hungarian artists, not so much writers in comics, but artists, that there's like a ton of Hungarian artists in the mainstream comics. and in the not so mainstream comics as well, like Image Comics or IDW, because like I mentioned, Tommy or colorist also worked for IDW because TMNT, the Ninja Turtles, are published at IDW. So, for example, there is him, and it's pretty funny that he's been working for IDW for, I don't know, 4 years, and I just learned that he exists 2 years ago. And even though the Ninja Turtles are also published in Hungary, so I had no idea there's a guy living in Budapest who works for an international company like that, a big company.
That's very interesting, because decentralization of all art, because of the digital world and global, and well, the fact that you can travel so easily now.
Yeah,
it's really cool. And it's meant that there's a lot more power in the hands of the creator.
Yeah, it's like that, and also 21st century is like something so different to any other centuries. It's like anyone can be an influencer, whatever that means. You have like 1 million followers on Instagram, and then you can do just about anything.
Yeah, you're trying to get those 1 million followers, though.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have 11,000 followers on Twitter, and I'll post something and maybe 15 people will see it. So yeah. I don't know about Twitter.
I have no idea what Twitter is. I mean, I use it because I want to be present there as well, but I have no idea what it does really. And nobody likes. Nobody clicks, nobody reads.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show you something, and maybe Fabe can. So Fabe is Steve Fabian's nickname. Everyone calls him Fabe. That's why his nickname is on the screen as well. So I have all his original art for All Star here in this portfolio.
Cool.
Which is strange because he's the artist.
It sounds like the old comics world.
Yeah.
I feel like coming back in the 1960s, 50s.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's.
That's the cover. That's the cover. Yeah.
This is the cover. And it was digitally inked by another Hungarian artist, who was Joel Karisha. And I can just, I don't know, flip through it quickly. Here's the finished cover colored by Tommy. Maybe like this.
There you go. Okay.
And here's the first page of the book as well. On this side. And I can show you something non-spoilerish, like I like this one. This is one of my favorite pages. This one, and the other one as well. But this one is pretty cool. The bathing scene.
Really nicely done.
And I really like those pages. And I just wanted to ask Fabe to talk about his process, because he does everything on paper.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm an old school guy. I don't have any digital stuff. I don't even know how to use Photoshop. So I'm behind. I'm behind the times, unfortunately. I draw everything in by hand. So pencil, and then I ink it.
I'm with you on that.
Not because I'm selling the originals. It's like I wish, but I'm not a famous guy, so I can't really sell my originals. But this is I'm not, you know, I not like to use whiteout. Like whiteout is basically not. I don't use whiteout for correction. I use whiteout for textures, and I use it for, you know, like the pencil whiteout, and I use it for like all kinds of shading, for drawing, for hair, for feathering. So basically, I really need tools in my hand to do this. I can't see myself doing this digitally. And by the way, I can usually tell if something's done 100% digital, because it's sometimes you can really tell that it's not on paper. I usually like it. I like stuff better on paper. I think it looks better.
I'm a combination of the two. I have tried when all this stuff started back in the 90s. I was teaching high school, and I got involved in teaching graphic design to high school kids, and we're doing web design, everything like that. And I had some kids there who were like Photoshop geniuses. They can just do anything in Photoshop. And, you know, when you're that age and it's natural to you, everybody just does it. And so I started actually learning from those kids. And so I had this big Wacom tablet that the school gave me, just, you know, in the classroom. And I started doing these portraits of kids using this Wacom tablet, which is okay, but I was better at it back then than I am now. But now I just like the feel of a pencil on a paper. I get more out of it that way. I can do all types of stuff. And then when I do it, I can scan it, bring it in here, and enhance it. And I get kind of the best of both worlds. This is going to have to be digitally colored anyway.
Yeah, I can't color it just because I don't use Photoshop. I can't even color my own stuff. So basically, here in Hungary, it's like everyone colors their own stuff. But I'm used to the US version. I'm used to the US version, and everybody has a separate job. Like I'm the artist. Somebody can color. Somebody can letter. But I here in Hungary, everybody does everything. Like one person does everything basically, because I don't know. But so I noticed that even in the US now, people are hiring. They don't hire inkers anymore. They just hire just one artist. Somebody can ink himself, or sometimes they just use really dark pencils and then color the pencils. What I noticed.
It's me. I'm just working on the pencils. I used to do inking and everything back when I was a fan artist back in the 70s. I was together with a bunch of guys called Everyman Studios, and a few of them did real well. Like Rick Barry is one of them, and he does a lot of stuff with like Stephen King and Neil Gaiman. He's done Eternals covers and stuff like that, and he basically invented all this stuff that we're doing on Photoshop. He was the first one to ever do it. Yeah, but he didn't have a computer at the time. He kind of conned his way into doing the first cover for William Gibson's Neuromancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to MIT and said, "You guys got to help me because I don't know what I'm doing." So they helped him digitize this painting of his, and it became the first digital comic science fiction book cover, or book illustration cover. First one ever. So I knew these guys, but I just kind of dropped out of all this stuff and just became I became a teacher by getting. I went through undergraduate school and then went over to Pratt Institute and got myself a student loan that has dogged me for the last 30 years. But
Wow.
I can't complain. Just a couple of bucks.
That sucks.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. I had so many good things happen to me in New York that I can't complain. I got to know the greatest scholar in Heinrich Ibsen's work,
Yeah.
Probably the greatest scholar in the whole world. He became a buddy of mine. And I just, I really can't complain. Let me see. Steve dropped out. What happened to Steve?
I think he was having internet problems last time we did a stream like this.
Well, if he has to, we can come back in. Let me see. I'm going to go, let me see. I should open up your, let me see if I can open up All Stars.
If I can talk while you're checking it out,
that's good.
I just wanted to say I'm really grateful you did this variant cover, soon to be a print as well, I hope, once you color it. And also, this stream is really cool. I've been watching this stream for, I don't know how many months we know each other. It's not that much, funnily enough. It's like not even a half a year, right? It's like
this summer, I think we ran into each other on, was it on Instagram?
Oh, yeah, it was on Instagram, yeah. But we didn't start discussing serious things till, like, I don't know, till you launched the Patreon thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a funny story with David that there is an awesome Patreon account he has. And for even almost the lowest amount of money, it's like $3 or something like that, you can get an original art from Blue Boy Brown, right?
Yes.
And he sent me 2 original, I think it's like 4 or 6 panels, 2 original half pages or something like that. And he sent me those from the US in the middle of this virus crisis on April 6th, I think, 6th of April. And it arrived 9th July. So it traveled for 3 freaking months in the world, but it still got to me. So congrats to USPS and Hungarian Post. I have no idea how you managed to do that, but thank you very much for the postal workers who did everything they could. And actually, they never even lost any of my mails, including this one. And this was the longest one. This had the longest route.
Yeah, it was very frustrating. I was eventually going to call them up and say, give us our money back. You know, if you're not going to deliver this stuff, at least give us our postage back. We can do it again.
It's not even that cheap. I mean, like almost $15. Here you can send, I don't know, like a ton of comics to the US for that money. So it's not even cheap. USPS is not even cheap. But at least they delivered in the end. I just had no idea how it took 3 months. So.
Well, there's Stephen again. I can see him back.
I think he had a crash or something.
Welcome back, Stephen.
Hey.
Oh. Yeah, my internet connection is not the best. I think sometimes it just freezes and then it's gone for 5 minutes. I have a link here of me inking it's a few years old, but it's basically almost as it was done yesterday because I still draw the same way. I can send a link in a private chat over here, maybe.
Yeah, or you can
inking stuff. There's a video of it.
Or you could let me see. Look.
I don't know how to show.
Oh, you filled one of the. You filled his jacket, I think.
Yeah. Now I'm starting to color.
Wow, you started coloring. After 40 minutes. That's awesome. I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, I see the link now.
Let's see if I can get it. put it into, okay, here. It's the, drag it over here.
Oh, that's great.
And what maybe what I can do is to oh, okay, I'll just show it. It's only 3 minutes, it'll be fine.
Oh, that's great. So, if
That's a
Dave
good
doesn't,
ending here.
so if Dave doesn't want to speak, I would like to highlight that he studied drawing comics in the Kubert School in the U.S. So
Good.
when he was, I don't exactly remember if he was born in the U.S. or they just, but I think he was born in the U.S. Because his parents immigrated from Hungary in the, I think, in the 70s, I think. He's back. He's on the phone.
Yeah, my internet is really, really bad.
So I was just telling.
That's me inking, basically. That's how I ink.
I like that. Oh, that's really good inking.
And I use really cheap tools. So basically,
When you know, I heard this old story about Frank Frazetta, and kids would ask him all the time, "What do you use? What do you use?" And he showed some kid just the stuff he just found in the cutout bin at the art store, and he could use anything he wanted to. It was his hand. It was not the tool.
Of course. Makes sense, actually.
This is really nice inking, Steve.
thanks. I hope you turn the music off because in the background it's a loud music. I usually draw.
I don't know if you can.
I usually draw from loud music, so.
Sure you can turn it off. It's okay.
It's better this way. So anyway, Fabe,
No, that's why I was saying that you should turn it off because it's too loud.
So anyway, I was just telling about your story of the Kubert School. So I was just trying to figure out when you moved to the U.S. Or when were you born in the U.S.?
Yeah, I was born in the U.S.
Oh, okay, so I was right.
In New Jersey. New Jersey.
Yeah.
And I was born in the U.S., but when I was 4 years old, my parents, the whole family moved to Hungary. And after 10 years, when I was at the 8th grade, we moved back to the U.S. again. So I went to high school in the U.S. I had to learn English. And then after high school, I skipped a year and then I attended the Joe Kubert School because it was really expensive. So I had to work basically 3 jobs for a whole year just to pay for the fees.
I don't think you can go to a better school for comics than the Kubert School.
Yeah. But I had some like really like legends teaching me. Basically like guys who were like already 85 years old. And they were my teachers. So one of the guys who co-created Green Lantern, he was one of my teachers. Funny.
Who was it? That's Gil. That's not Gil Kane.
It's not the. He was telling me that he was the very first artist to draw the old Green Lantern with
The one with the cake. One with the cake.
And he was taking his lantern in his hand all the time, basically. And he was I think issue 2 or I don't know. He was telling me that he did like back in the 40s. He drew the first few issues of Green Lantern. Then he he also created the Wildcat, the character Wildcat
Wow.
from the DC.
I remember Wildcat. The Justice
And then
Society.
after a while, he got out of comics and he did a newspaper strip called Dondi. I don't know if you remember that.
I
Yeah.
remember Dondi.
He did Dondi for like, I don't know, like 50 years or something, almost, I think, until the 1990s. And after that, he just was just basically just teaching in a school. His name was Irvin Hansen.
Irving Hazen, yeah, that's his name.
That's cool.
Or Hansen or Hazen. He was
Yeah,
a really short guy, kind of looked like Yoda.
That's pretty
He was one of my
awesome.
favorite teachers. I had some drawings from him. I always made my teachers draw. So
You never even
the
told
only
me
teacher
about.
really,
You never even told me about Irving Hazen. You always told me that your other favorite was Jose Delbo.
yeah, Jose Delbo was one of my favorites, and then I had Irvin, and there was another really famous guy who was an inker back in the 1940s and 50s and 60s. DC Comics. He also did newspaper strip called forgot the name. Anyway, his name was Tex Blaisdell, I think.
Tex Blaisdell? I know who Tex Blaisdell is.
He was a really tall guy, big tall guy, and he used to live in the basement in the housing we were living in the Huber school. He used to live with us, so basically got drunk with him every night.
Tex Blaisdell.
He would drink beer, we were drinking vodka, and
Wow.
he slept in the basement. So basically,
He has all these stories about Adam and Andy Kubert as well.
back then they were teachers. They were the big superstar artists in Marlboro. Adam was drawing Wolverine at the time, and Andy was drawing X-Men right after Jim Lee left. So he was a replacement for Jim Lee, and they were like big superstars. And they had a studio in the school. So basically, when we were bored after school, we just went to see them and just watched them draw and stuff. Sometimes we played basketball. The Cuber building is the school it used to be a big high school in Dover, New Jersey, and a really old high school. It was built like 100 years ago. I mean, you can still see the old entrance. They have a separate entrance for boys and for girls. They couldn't even go in. And then they bought the building. Joe bought the building back in the 70s, and then the whole school was basically we had the classrooms and we had a gym, so we played basketball. But I mean, I got really fat in those 3 years because all we did was basically we slept after school. We slept for like 5 hours, 6 hours, and then we started doing our homework all night. And then basically then we didn't sleep, and then we just went to the classes. And they gave you a lot of work all the time and deadlines. They teach you how to make the deadlines. So it was actually kind of stressing. When I got out of school, I was kind of sick of drawing.
I can imagine.
And just when I got out of school, the whole comic book business just crashed. It was back in 1996 when everything went bust. All the small companies closed down. Only Marvel and DC stayed alive, and Dark Horse maybe. And then when I sent samples to DC and Marvel, they send me back like, you have to draw like Jim Lee. You want to get hired. You have to go with Jim Lee, you have to go with Mark Silvestri, you have to go with Rob Liefeld. And I said, okay, fuck you, I'm not drawing. So I basically just went to work. I went to work at a supermarket on Staples after that.
That's interesting because in the mid-90s, I guess it was the mid-90s or the late 90s, something like that.
Yeah, late 90s, you had to draw like other people. Otherwise, you couldn't get a job. Even the old guys, like the guys who were artists since the 60s, they had to like go, they had to ink like Rob Liefeld, cross hatching, and the drawing the teeth, like always putting the teeth together, and then big surplus of breast and whatever.
I have a friend who was doing. Spider-Man back in the '90s, and he said that they kind of just downsized, and they just got rid of a lot of people, and he became a storyboard artist. The best thing ever happened to him. It's being a storyboard artist, like with Kof. You do storyboard artists, you have a life. You know,
Yeah.
like I remember back in the '70s, people would talk about how Jim Kaluta was doing The Shadow, and he would spend his entire day chained to his drawing board. He never got to see anybody. He was like, he looked like Dracula. He was so, he never got any sun.
Maybe he was allergic to sun in the end.
I don't know. Doing some good stuff.
But it's still, I think it's still like that. In comics, you have to be a big name to earn bigger bucks. But usually storyboard artists and concept artists still get much more money. Even, and especially illustrators, like, I don't know, book or novel illustrators or cover illustrators get way more money for, I would say, way less work. I mean, of course, you have to be the best to be a cover artist, to know how to sell a book, how to do exactly what you have to do to sell a book. But comic artists still earn much less than they deserve. They deserve much more.
That's why I like being retired. Like when I came back into comics, I was already retired, and I'm not dependent on this for my income. Thank God.
Yeah. So I have another illustration or sketch, or I would say finished art piece with me. It's
yeah.
promotional pic. We had this idea with Fabe to do this specific scene just for promotional purposes. And it was actually inked by Tommy, because Fabe only did the pencils for this sketch, and then Tommy inked it on a blue line copy he printed out from Fabe's digitally scanned pencils. And it was, of course, colored by him later on. I really like this piece of art because it's just so simple, and it has an homage for Nirvana's which Nirvana album is that? It's Nevermind. Yeah. If you know the album cover. So yeah, what's
it's a swinging leafy. Basically, a newborn baby swimming underwater in a pool.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I don't know. I told Milan that my dream job is to become just a cover artist. I wish I could do that, just to do covers.
That would be fun.
My eyes are really bad, so I can hardly see the small panels anymore. I need to get glasses.
Yeah, that's why you do big panels now. Anyway, I have.
I wish I did.
I'm sorry.
Right now, I can draw small. I have a historical comic. I can show you a page, maybe.
Yeah, please do.
Show a page.
While Steve is looking for the page,
Really?
I'm showing you guys. So this is the Hungarian version of the comic. It was already printed and published last year because we actually wanted to collect funds for and earn some money back from the comic. Collect some funds for the coloring, but we didn't really know how much money we would earn, and it exactly the money that came from that one event we premiered it was enough for the printing. So I wasn't really satisfied in the end. But this way, that everyone is at home. Fabe is in Dunakeszi, which is like, I don't know, 70 kilometers from here or 80 kilometers. And Tommy is like 60 kilometers from me. We can work from home and we can do a Kickstarter like we don't even have to meet each other. I don't like this, but because of the virus, not everyone is willing to go out or get into a pub to drink or something like that. And in the end, we settled for a Kickstarter, which is at AllStarComic.com. And this way, I was thinking we would reach more fans of comics, more fans of graphic novels, because All-Star is slowly becoming to be a 48 or 52 page comic, which I'm reluctant to call it a comic anymore. It's more like a graphic novel because it has a definitive ending, and even though we plan to do a prequel too, it's still a finished book. So you don't miss anything if you don't read the sequel, which is already in the works. But in this Kickstarter, I was thinking that maybe we should broaden our audience. Like we used to publish comics in Hungarian in Hungary, but every comic we ever published in Hungarian, I have it in English as well. So it's pretty funny that this book is fully done except for the coloring. And Tommy is like, I think he is 14 pages into finishing the job. So he's like, I don't know, because the origin stories is done by another artist, not Faye. And those are 4 pages, I think. So it's like, I don't know, 44 pages left for Tommy to color, 44 minus 14, so it's like only 30 pages. He only has to color 30 pages. And that's not a lot, because sometimes he sends me 2 pages per day, not counting the weekends, of course. And that's pretty awesome. I think we are right on schedule for late September, early October fulfillment of the Kickstarter. And we simultaneously, we also publish it in Hungarian. And now it has like 18 different variant covers, which is like what DC or Marvel is doing with these anniversary issues nowadays. Like there was a Batman anniversary sometime, that Detective Comics anniversary, and they printed like 60, 80 different variants. Some of those were like comic shop exclusives. You couldn't even get it online. You had to go to a specific comic shop in the US, and that way you could buy that variant. I know this because I have a friend and also a fan of ours, a big fan of All Star and a big donator to our cause and our comic books and graphic novels. And his name is Gabor. And Gabor told me that he collected all the detective comic variants, and I think it stopped at 64 different covers.
Wow.
That's insane. I mean, who does that? And they are clearly only doing this for a marketing purpose, for the kind of fans who want to own every different variant cover for the same interior pages.
I've heard a lot of chatter about speculators in comics.
Oh yeah,
and how creators don't like speculators very much. And I'm from the baby boom generation, and we were collecting comics. I had a friend who had 250,000 comics. You know something? Everybody was doing that. Now, when everybody wants to sell them, the market is flooded. You say, "Hey, I'm going to retire on this." No, you're not. No, you're not. You retire on this. Everybody's selling them. And you can get them everywhere, which is kind of nice. And then you've got the digital stuff. So you can buy them digitally. So why would you want to, unless you want a physical copy? And I would want to have a physical copy of maybe Superman 162, where, the death of Superman, when Jimmy Olsen has a little bit of piece of kryptonite in his camera. I would love to have had that. Everybody remembers that one?
I remember. I have that issue.
You had that issue? Oh.
I have that issue. It's still unopened. I still have the black. I have the black armband inside the poly bag. It's not even open.
Oh yeah.
I bought like 5 copies of Superman. So I have like an unopened poly bag comic books from the 90s. I have a whole bunch.
And everybody has them.
Even a friend of mine who didn't read comics, he was buying them because he thought he was going to get rich for it. But I told him that, dude, they printed like 6 million copies. It's not going to be worth a lot. And people, that's why the whole business imploded back in '96 because of this variant covers.
Finally, I'm not seeing myself.
Yeah, I got distracted. Let me see.
Behind this cover. Oh, okay.
Yeah, show me. Yeah, let's look at them.
The cover of the new comic I'm working on, the logo kind of was going to be up here, so that's why I usually leave some open space. It's basically about a battle between the Romans and the Celt people. We used to live here in Hungary back in the Roman times, and it's inspired by the museum here in Hungary. They have Roman ruins in Budapest, some old city of Aquincum. They used to be in a Roman city, and there is a museum there, and that they hired me to draw a 10-page comic. And actually, Tommy is coloring this one. So this is a cover, basically. And then I can show you I have the first 5 pages here. There's the first page, you can see the circus, the gladiators.
That's so nice. Well, that's nice.
There are also some Celtic fairies.
Oh, I love it.
Okay. When we go inside the circus, we got the Roman soldiers drinking wine, watching it. Basically. And then the next page. One second. Once again.
Very nice.
That's page number 3. Here's the next morning on the battle. The Romans and the Catholics against each other, they're facing each other. First the Romans, And then see the other side, the Celts, the so-called barbarians.
Unfortunately, the Gauls were the ones that came into battle naked.
And this is supposed to be the Gauls used to live in France. And there's actually battle here. This is actually a pain in the ass to draw. The actual battle scene.
Very nice.
That's awesome. I like this one.
Good use of positive and negative space.
Right.
Of course, you went to the Cooper School. You got your apprenticeship with the top drawer. Very nice.
I had a very good design. I was very lucky because my design teacher, he wasn't even into comic books. He wasn't a comic book artist. He was basically just a graphic artist and a really good designer. His name was Barry Bryant, and he was a commercial artist. He was illustrator for New Yorker magazine, and he taught me all about the design of the pattern of panels, like how to design inside of panels, like how to draw big, like a foreground, make it big, not no small hands, big hands, kind of like Kirby.
Yeah.
And I was lucky that he was a teacher for a couple of years.
It's like you learned your lesson well.
I mean, the next project, I still have a month left probably before I'm really slow right now. There's no deadline because of the virus. I'm basically scrapped, so when I have a deadline, I'm really lazy. And, but I should be finished. I should be finished hopefully this summer by August, and then I don't know if the next project, or I don't know what's going to happen. We'll find out.
Hopefully the sequel. I totally forgot what I wanted to say. And he's also working with Tommy on this project, right? The tape.
I can't really show you, but I don't have it online. These things, I don't know if I can have photos I can show, but I don't know how to send it.
Yeah, but
I will need to send. I could send it to you maybe on Facebook, and you can I don't know. I don't know how to project the coloring, the colored pages because it's not on paper.
Yeah. So it's a team. Funny story that in a way I inspired, and All Star started this team up with Dave and Tommy. And I'm pretty curious if you could do something like Dave is penciling and Tommy is inking and coloring. That would be also a very interesting collaboration.
Well, I'm impressed, Fabian. Steve, Dave, I am impressed.
I don't know.
I really like your work.
Thanks. I'm the old school artist, like people used to tell me, I draw like Silver Age. Basically, like I don't the modern style. I draw basically like kind of like Jose. Jose was my big hero, Jose Delbo. And then I saw a big John Buscema fan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I need to draw horses, I just swipe from John Buscema.
Yeah, Buscema was outrageous. And Sal is still around, isn't he?
Yeah, Sal is still around. I wish I could somehow get a commission. I actually have a couple of pages from Sal. I bought it back in the 90s when these pages were really cheap. Original pages. I bought these pages from Sal's artwork, from one page from Spectacular Spider-Man, and also an older page from 1960s from and Namor, the submariner.
Yeah.
Draw.
I
I bought both pages. I remember that each page costed $15. $15.
15.
Now the same pages cost like $1,500.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you'd say if I said you'll get $15 a page.
Yeah. Okay. So here I'm looking at the coloring this watercolor. So we could make Jimmy a redhead, couldn't we?
Well, he's a blonde, but
Sandy colored hair.
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde.
Hey, strawberry blonde's
What's that?
strawberry blonde is a blonde, but it's kind of reddish. And I don't know what you
Reddish
like.
blonde.
Yeah,
I
reddish
never
blonde.
heard that expression.
Redheads are my weakness. I married a woman with black hair.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Believe me.
Well, I know who you were talking about.
That's a good color for him. I would
Yeah.
say.
It goes well with All Stars.
Yeah.
And his own too. It's no accident that the colors of Jimmy Olsen are orange, green, and violet. Because that's a perfect split complementary.
Yeah.
I have to clean those edges up. I don't do flats because I'm lazy. I found a place on the web that actually does flats for you automatically. But
Really?
but there's so many dadgum little compartmentalized shapes within it that you just abandon it and just go like this. So I just do this because
Well, as for Tommy, I know he has a specific flatter. So he uses, I think it's a girl. He's using a female flatter from somewhere in the world. I guess he is paying her something. I don't know how much it usually costs to get a flat colored artwork. No idea.
It's not much, but there's a lot of tutorials on the web about flatting. I've looked at a few of them, but with all the things I have going on and everything, I just never got around to the idea of doing flats.
I only ever colored one piece of art, Fabe's, and it was only spot color, so black, white, and yellow.
Get sloppy here and then just clean it up. As long as I don't go that edge there.
So this is how you usually do it, and the magic comes a little bit later when you use that watercolor effect you're famous for.
Oh, I'm not famous for anything. But when I'm doing this stuff, I usually put a texture layer over this of a piece of rough 300-pound watercolor paper that I bought like 30 years ago when I was working for Utrecht.
And you only have that one sheet, and you
No, I had 100. I've got like 100 sheets of those in the last. I still got like 30 sheets of them, but I just scanned the thing, and I just put and I actually could do that for this. I'll decide a little while whether I want to do that, whether I don't want to go fully to just watercolor effects. Because what I'm doing is I'm just putting the flat colors down, and then I'm going to modulate it because when you're working on this, you can create another. You can create kind of the shadows just by using what's called multiply.
Uh-huh.
Just doing that, and so your shadows are just a deeper color.
I see. Uh-huh. It's just like an overlay or something.
Yeah, it's just like overlays, which usually you don't get that. But I'm lucky enough that I teach college. I've been a college teacher for 28 years or something like that. The same college, and they give me Creative Cloud. I get everything that Adobe does. I don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's like $60 a month, but I get it for nothing. So I'm real happy about that. When my chairman said, "Yeah, we can set you up with this," I just all I could do. Just
That's pretty cool.
so
I,
yeah.
I see you're using a Macintosh.
Oh yeah. I used to use Windows, but Windows. All my students were saying, "Mr. Taylor, you've got to get away from Windows. Bill Gates is the devil." And eventually, I started teaching this animation class in my school, and then I got I stopped using.
Uh-huh.
I bought a Mac. I bought a Mac. One of those old, just before they came out with the cheese graters, they had those blue Macs, Mac Pro, which wasn't terribly fast. But hey, I got stuck on Mac, and I came back.
Yeah.
Away.
That's pretty interesting. I'm gonna show this to Tommy. And
Tommy would say, you probably look at this and say, "What a damage!" Say, what this guy doesn't know. But I'm going from trying to turn this into like a digital water.
Oh yeah. That's what I was hoping for, actually, because I really like how you mimic watercolor digitally.
Okay, then that's where I'll go with this.
Anyway, I just saw myself again, and I see I went from Mike Patton to Nick Cave in a few minutes.
You bet.
Yeah, so different hairstyles in the whole stream. In the end, I'm going to do a Robert Smith version as well, from The Cure.
Sure, I don't follow music. The Grammys come on, and I go, "Who are all these people?"
Yeah, I have no idea. These guys are older guys. I mean, Nick Cave, Mike Patton was like well in the 50s, I guess. In their 50s. So it's not contemporary in a way, but it's still contemporary because they're still alive.
Yeah. Hey. Even Ringo's alive.
So I always wanted to ask Fabe about coloring, if he ever did, or if he ever studied to do colors in Kubert School, or did you not have to do that? Or
Yeah, I had painting classes in the Kubert School. Basically, we even learned to color comics. I could probably color it, using colored ink we used to use, dyes. I can probably do it like old school, like old style, back in the 1970s, 80s. That's how the colorists used to color. They used to color photocopies. I could probably do that with brushes and stuff, but that's no one works like that anymore. So I would need to learn Photoshop, I guess. But I'm too old for that. I don't have patience for that.
I got into Photoshop back in the 90s. It had a lot to do with running into Rick Barry, when the internet started coming together, all these guys that I used to hang out with in the underground days started showing up again. And I found out that he'd done all this stuff, so I said, I'm going to try something like that stuff. That's the only reason why
I think
okay.
it's coming.
Well, if I have any Photoshop work, like some minors, I usually ask Milan for help. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
But in this way, at least it's teamwork. I like teamwork. I don't think I mentioned how we worked together on All Star with Fabe. He told me, he asked me to give him a kind of Marvel style script, which is, if you're not familiar with the term, Marvel style means it's more like a plot, and you don't. In our case, I didn't even write page numbers. Sometimes I just told Fabe what's going to happen roughly in the story, and then he finalized the page numbers. Like, he said, okay, this is going to take me 3 pages. I was like, oh, okay, let's do it in 3 pages. And sometimes I had these pacings because Fabe was constantly sending me new pages, finished pages. And I was like, okay, but here we have to speed up the story. So you can't do 2 pages for this scene. You have to do it in 1 page. And sometimes that happened, but it was really rare. So usually I just accepted what he said. And because of this, we went from 30 pages to 33, I think, in the first version, the black and white version. And talking about Marvel style scripts, Marvel way, I think it was invented by Stan Lee, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, it has a pretty big legacy because Stan just died a few years ago. I fortunately got to meet him 3 times, I think.
Cool.
In London 2 times, and just 2 times. Sorry, 2 times. But both were really, really very interesting and very educative as well. Anyway, I just wanted to say that for Steve, Marvel style worked the best because he knew what he wanted to do. Even the character designs were like, okay, just show me what you think of, how Ginny would look like, how the Beast of Balaton would look like. Balaton, by the way, is the biggest lake in Hungary. So it's a little bit of local monster.
Uh-huh.
And how Princess Monaco would look like, and how sometimes I describe some teachers because it's kind of autobiographical as well. Sure. Not in every way, but sometimes I described some of the teachers I had in high school, or in primary school, or in university at university. But usually he just nailed everything. I only remember 1 page he redrew, which was, I think, the last page of the book, and it was the rough he drew for the first time. It was still used as a back cover, so it was inked by Tommy, inked and colored by Tommy, and then we used it for the back cover because it was a kind of sentimental image Fabe came up with the first time. So we had really, really good time doing this comic, graphic novel. Sorry, I keep saying comic, but it's a freaking graphic novel.
That's how Steve Ditko came up with Spider-Man, and that's basically what Jack Kirby was, where Jack Kirby was coming from when he said that he felt like he should be the co-creator of all these things.
Yeah, but in our case, Steve and I are the co-creators of All Star and all its characters. So I never said I created these characters. All the visuals, almost all the visuals, are created by Steve. The story and the characters, the essence of the characters are created by me. And what's that if not a proper collaboration? It's a co-creation.
That's wonderful. Sounds the way it should be done.
I agree. There are some stories like the Stanley Steve Ditko and the Stanley Jack Kirby ones, but there's some fairly recent ones as well, like Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore on The Walking Dead. There was also a lawsuit about that
Really?
Clash of Giants. I don't know if you guys heard about that one.
I don't keep up with too much of the comic news, so I've been trying to. I've been trying to get sort of more into it. I got a subscription to a comics journal a year and a half ago, but they don't seem to be doing much anymore.
So that's not good to hear.
It's a shame. They used to have some really good stuff, but I got a really nice, perfect bound copy of the latest issue of the Comics Journal. And it had an interview with a guy that was like 100 pages long, and I didn't even know who this guy was. I never heard of him.
You don't remember his or her name?
Oh, I know his name. You know, I looked at it and said, but I had never read any of this person's stuff. Never read anything by this person ever. I never even knew this guy had lived.
Well, it's not his or her fault. It's not their fault. It's like I know there are a lot of comics coming out each Wednesday, but I don't keep up with 95% of them.
You can't. There's too much going on.
And I don't even want to, because I also want to do my own comics. So yeah.
When you're actually working on comics, you don't have time for too much else.
Yeah. I was just having fun via email with, I don't know if you know the artist, or at least his name, Frank Whiteley. He's
oh yeah, I know exactly. All-Star Superman.
Yes.
One of my favorite issues of my favorite runs of Superman is that particular one. It's really
mine too. Yeah, I'm a big Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley fan. And I got the pleasure to meet them personally as well. And I've been to Frank Whiteley's studio in Glasgow as well. So I can almost say I can call him a friend. So we were just exchanging some emails in the last few days, and he was laughing at one of the riddles in my comic, because I can't believe this either, but he read my comic. It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome feeling. I don't know what you say about that, Fabe, that this guy, Frank Whiteley, one of the biggest living artists in comics right now, read your comic you drew.
That's nice. Did he like the art?
Yeah, he liked everything, and that's just what I wanted to say. That he said these, or he wrote these exact words. The comic looks amazing. That's what he said. And what bigger compliment you need? I don't need anything else. If everybody else tells me that your comic is like the worst story I've ever read, I would still say that. But Frank Wiley said otherwise. It's like, I don't care.
That's right. Wiley's a big deal.
Yeah. Anyway, and he was just asking about the riddle we have in the book, and he had no idea what the solution was, but he still tried to guess it, and it was a really funny exchange of emails, because he was nowhere near the solution. And I'm pretty curious how everybody else solved the riddle of Princess Monaco in the book, because AllStar couldn't solve it, and Frank Wiley couldn't solve it either.
I can't solve it.
Sorry?
I can't even solve it.
But I told you what the solution was. It's pretty obvious.
I forgot already. It's just gone from my brain.
You're getting old, Steve.
I am about to just turned 46.
46? I thought you were 44. That was too
No, I was 45.
Oh. When was it? Yeah, your birthday was like a week ago, right?
Yeah, it's July 16th.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Right.
And mine is coming up next Wednesday, so it's pretty close.
Yeah,
It's
I'm a
just 2 weeks.
Cancer.
So, speaking about All-Star Superman, I don't know if you heard the similarities in the name. We actually came up with another friend of mine for the superhero name All-Star from All-Star Superman.
Oh boy.
And it's not a ripoff, it's more like an homage, that we wanted to use something like that, because like if I'm thinking with Jimmy's head, sorry, he thinks like, okay, so I read this comic called All-Star Superman, what would I name my own superhero? It's like, of course, All-Star, because I can't name it Superman. That's DC's superhero. But I can still name it All-Star, because there's just something in the title. So that was my way of thinking of naming our superhero All-Star.
Yeah, I don't think you can copyright. So, anyway, there is no superhero.
At least I hope. I tried to Google it multiple times, and nothing came up except for the All-Star imprint of DC Comics, which was like All-Star Superman, All-Star Batman, All-Star Batman Robin by Frank Miller, and there was something else, but it's just the imprint. There are multiple star named superheroes like Star-Lord, Starman, Star whatever, Starro, Stargirl, but not All-Star. And All-Star sounds like, I don't know, something silly, because it's a 14-year-old boy who comes up with these names. Like Princess Monaco comes from a similar story, but a real life story. But I really don't want to tell that one. It's not kid friendly.
Okay.
Oh, you are making progress. Good progress.
Yeah, I've been doing this. One of the cool things about doing this live stream every weekday is that it forces me to actually do some work.
That's That's a good thing. You're doing the shadows right now, right?
Yeah.
I see. And you're just winging it. It's not like you do this the first time ever.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. That's the first time I've done this on this. And the great thing about doing it on a computer is just that you can just, if you don't like this, you just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
can just make it disappear.
Do it on my color. Oh, I'm doing it on my color layer. That was a bad idea. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Want to do my shadow layer.
Oh,
that way I don't miss
the right layer. So, guys, just excuse me for like 2 minutes. I just have to go to where, and then I'll come back.
Certainly, when you get to be my age, you'll be going there more often.
You shouldn't say that.
I always give my classes a break in the at 2 hours in the classroom, not for them, for me. Yeah, let me see. That may be too green, but they have multiple undos on Photoshop. So, Steve, you must have had a heck of a time at computer school.
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't very healthy. When I got really fat. We kept just eating. We didn't exercise enough. We just kept going, sleeping, and eating basically, and drinking. But
that's what you do in college.
After school, after I got out of school, I was like kind of sick of drawing, and then I tried to get some. I sent samples to a few companies. Maybe I get some comic work, and they kept saying, rejecting that. No, you have to draw like this, post somebody else. And then I was like, okay,
Don't drive you nuts.
I didn't draw for almost 10 years. I basically I stopped drawing basically almost altogether. And I didn't pick up a pencil until like I moved back to home.
I'm glad you started again because you're doing some excellent work.
Got a job in the U.S. Comic job.
That comic you showed us is top drawer. It's really good stuff. It's good that you come back into comics. Maybe this will be the beginning.
Yeah, I've been drawing comics for the last 7 years now.
Good.
I've been trying to make a living out of it. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but I mean, especially here in Hungary.
That's the cool thing about the.
I don't want to, people tell me I should, like send samples to Marvel and the U.S. companies. I'm like, nah, I don't want to compete with all those people. I mean, I'm not fast enough anymore. I don't like to draw really fast anymore. I can draw fast, but I prefer no pace. So that's why I'm working with Milan. So we do our own comics, basically self-publishing, and then I own the rights to it, basically.
You've got the right idea because in the past, comic book artists have not been treated terribly well.
Yeah.
Think about how they treated Jerry Ordway. They just said, okay, you're no longer the Superman artist. What? Except for Kurt Swan, in my opinion, Jerry Ordway's the best Superman artist ever.
Yeah.
Ordway is amazing. Amazing. He was like a combination of Kurt Swan and Mort Drucker.
Yeah.
Just so spot on. Everything he did was just beautiful. And then they just said, oh, we're going to use somebody else. And they did the same thing to Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
So you're smart by doing it yourself.
Yeah. I wonder if Jerry Ordway still works.
Yeah, he
still draw comics.
I think he does. I follow him on Twitter. So he's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's a really. I think he's one of the great comic book artists. He's one of the reasons why I started collecting comics back in the '90s again, just to get all his stuff.
I agree. And a lot of the old guys who are still alive, these guys who used to join back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, mostly like 70s, 80s, they don't even get jobs anymore. They just sometimes get to draw a cover maybe. They basically live off of commissions.
Yeah,
they don't get jobs. A monthly comic book, they don't get monthly comic books anymore.
Nope. Everybody's. It's the millennials that are getting it.
Yeah, and then also like a lot of these companies getting artists from South America, because from Brazil and from Argentina and Chile and Mexico, and basically actors. I think because it's a lot cheaper. I think.
This is similar to what happened when Neil Adams tried to unionize comics back in the late '70s. DC just basically hired people from the Far East and broke the union, which that's what corporations do. They look out for themselves.
That's really, really sad. And just like, I didn't know what you were talking about in like when I arrived, but Brazilian, I have a lot of Brazilian comic artist friends, but they usually work for DC and Marvel. So I would say they work for real money. But there's like, I mean, David, you should know, because there's like tons of indie comic groups on Facebook, and they keep advertising themselves, and some of them work for $25 page rates.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I've seen one guy working for $15 per page, and it wasn't bad. He could tell a story, and the characters weren't bad at all. But for $15 a page, and it's like, who can compete with that? But who wants to pay that little for the artist? I'm like, that's really, really sad.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is the way to go. I was a blip on the screen 45 years ago. I was flummoxed when some kid walked up to me while I was trying to finish college. He looked at me and says, "Are you the Dave Taylor?" I said, "The Dave Taylor? What are you talking about?" Well, there actually is a Dave Taylor. You said you know him. But I said, "What are you talking about?" But what had happened is that I'd been written about in Comics Journal, and I didn't get about all this stuff. I was doing printmaking. I was doing etchings. I was into Rembrandt, Picasso. But, you know, so since I was such a blip on the screen, I said, well, look, I'm coming back into comics. There's only one way I'm going to make any mark. I have to do a long-term project. And it's the long-term that's going to get you. You guys are on the right track. You should turn this into something as big as you can get it, but own it. You guys. Only you own it. Only you own it, because only you will take care of yourselves. Because you guys have ethics. You're not corporations. You're not looking out to please the stockholders. And so you just be artists. And then you'll be able to build a life. Because sooner or later, it's going to catch on. And the great thing about the world is it doesn't have to become, you don't have to be DC or Marvel. Have great lives.
I would say I think I'm speaking as on behalf of Fav as well, that
we would never want to do deadlines like that. Like 22 pages per month for the penciler, and then hire another inker or Fabe inking himself, and then a colorist working on for like, I don't know, 1 week. Or Fabe knows these DC Marvel image deadlines, and they're like outrageous. It's totally inhumane. It's not for somebody who wants to have an actual life, who wants to live life. It's like, I wouldn't be able to do that as a writer. I flesh out ideas, and it's impossible for me to write 2 or 3 or 4 comic books weekly, or weekly, monthly, to make enough money to have a good life. And then I don't know how much time I could spend doing something else, doing everything else, because I would be glued to the computer, writing and telling the artist what to draw, and correcting the artist's mistakes, my own mistakes, and stuff like that. It's impossible for me. So the only way we can do this is the indie way, and this is what we want to do. Even though we have variant cover artists from DC and Marvel Comics, Geraldo Borges from Chile, he is like a really big name right now. But he's also doing his own indie comics. He's also a writer, a co-creator. He works with Brazilian, Chilean writers and artists. He has this Brazilian education program, comic education, stuff like that. He has a promotional company. So he's like a very multi-talented artist, and other things as well. And he graced us with a variant cover in the very beginning, which is actually in the book as well, as a poster on Jimmy's wall. So he was supporting us from the very beginning. He even drew one of the variant covers for Fabe's other comic called, is it White Meat, right?
Yes, White Meat.
White Meat, yeah. Another comic we plan to do on Kickstarter, because it was only published in like 50 copies, 50 Hungarian copies, and like, I don't know, 15 copies for the English version. I have no idea. Even I don't remember. But it's a good story. It's a good story. It's a funny story. It's a really cool comic book. It's a sci-fi adventure, and Fabe's art is top notch as usual. So we plan to do something like that in the future. Shorter stories, longer stories, and then serialized stories. Like I have a parody, a superhero parody called Goddamn, which is like a Batman, Superman, but mostly Batman parody. And I want to do that on Kickstarter as well. So we already have 2 issues finished, like fully finished, coloring, everything is finished. We even have it in English right now. And our next project after All-Star is to get funding for that, sending out in the world. We have Japanese, Chinese, of course, a lot of people from the US, the UK, Germany, Poland, Czech Republic, Portugal, Spain, Italian backers on Kickstarter. So it's our comic is gonna travel around the world, and a lot of different cultures, a lot of different kind of I don't know. How can I say that? A lot of different nations, a lot of different cultural nations will read it. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I think you should be. To have a successful, really successful Kickstarter campaign, right? First thing you ever do. And I think it had a lot to do. I noticed that you did a lot of legwork before it ever began.
I actually read about it that the big pros do 6 months of pre-work before the launch. 6 months, half a year.
Wow.
And I can see that now because I see or flaws as well. I mean, it's not like it's not story wise, it's not comic wise, it's nothing about the story. It's more like technical things. Like if I had a big mailing list, newsletter, email list from the beginning, I could easily send it out like for, I don't know, 500 people, for like 500 from the world and 300 to Hungary. But we didn't have that in the beginning. I could only, I only came up with this reading about successful Kickstarters and successful creators. And I was constantly in contact with a lot of other creators, a lot of creators who do their campaign exactly the same time as we do. And I still do that. And we only have like 5 days left. And I still try to reach out to other creators on Kickstarter, on Instagram, on Facebook. And like you did, invite us for this awesome stream. A lot of other people did the same. I mean, not nearly enough, but I still say we are quite busy. I'm definitely really busy. I've been working 16-hour days for 2 weeks. And for this last two weeks, I started to slow down a little bit because I was feeling that I couldn't sleep, couldn't get enough sleep, and I was constantly thinking what to do next, how to make the project even better. But it's in a way it's our first project. If we got the 1,500 British pounds we started with as the goal, I could still be happy about it. But we are right now. I just checked in the last minute. In dollars, in US dollars, we were above 3,000 US dollars. That's a lot of money. I mean, Hungary is a cheap place. We can use that 3,000 to give this graphic novel All-Star an even better treatment, printing-wise and revamping the dialogues, everything. The color's gonna be beautiful. I saw what Tommy came up with for some of the critical pages. Fabe said everything is awesome. So in a way, it's a lot of hard work, but from now on, I can only work, I can let myself only work on the comic from now on. I don't have to work on the freaking campaign anymore because it's making me totally crazy.
Yeah, that's the, I've heard that when you're doing a Kickstarter campaign, it's daily, and it's just like never ending. You have to be loading it constantly, and hey, that's life. But it only lasts for a month.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time, believe me. If you never did this before, and I never did this before, it's like, it's not like 30 days, it feels like it's a year. Yeah. And it really does feel like a year. I can't tell anybody who never did a Kickstarter campaign before, because of course, they told me, and all the other variant cover artists like you, like Geraldo, like a lot of Hungarian talents, they helped me share the project. They helped me promote it on their own Instagram, Facebook, whatever accounts.
But in the end, I had to do the biggest work because I have to constantly be on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on I don't even know how many social media networks. Because if I'm not there, there might be a chance somebody who wants to back the campaign won't see it. And there's a great example how I thought about marketing ideas. Like when Tommy offered that he would do painting commissions, like Steve also does commissions in this Kickstarter for like, I don't know, if you compare it to, if you exchange it to dollars, it's like $125, and you get the comic, you get the commission, and you get free shipping to the US. That's like really cheap. And you get an 11 by 17 inches commission by Steve. That's awesome. And a lot of people were interested in that thing, and a lot of our backers were really interested in that. And there are some backers who also requested commissions from Steve and from Tommy. A painted commission from Tommy is like just a little bit more money than from getting one from Steve. And I started posting these commission samples Tommy and Faith sent me to these very specific groups, and try to make it look like it wasn't a promotion for a campaign. But these commissions were commissions I ordered, or I received, or I promote this guy, but not for Kickstarter. But in the end, and this is a really, really big tip for future Kickstarter launchers, is to go there, promote yourself, make it look like it's not a promotion, because, and I'm not lying, we received, the first day I put this in one of the groups on Facebook, we received, I think, 6 extra backers, and roughly like, I can't convert maybe I can, like $600 in like, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed it. That day.
And that's the thing about getting from 90% to 100% or above. We really struggled after 5 days. And I was like, oh, I thought this was gonna, because we reached 65% in 6 hours. And from 65% to 90%, we needed 4 extra days, which is, that it doesn't make sense. But in the end, I only needed this one post in a German comic fan collector group. And that one fan gave us enough money from 90% to 100 and, I don't know, 110% or something like that.
Whoa.
To reach above 100%. Just one guy.
That's one.
So that's like insane, and you have to think. You really have to think outside the box here, because it's not something you can sell. It doesn't really exist at the point you're promoting it. It's just a kind of promise. You make a promise to your backers. You make a promise to your donators. Donors. Sorry, I always mess up this word. To your donors, and you have to keep that promise. But that's the future, of course.
I think you guys will be very successful.
Thank you.
I think you guys
I
will
hope.
be very successful.
Amen to that thing.
You guys,
Anyway,
your concept. We've spoken about your concept, offline and everything. Your concept rocks. It's really good. And you got Steve I want to give you another more kudos. You're going to get tired of hearing this, but you got the right artist here. This guy rocks. He knows how to pace a story. He knows how to do compositions that bring you in. I think you guys are going to do really, really, really well. And it's just going to be a matter of time. And that's the cool thing about it is like you don't have corporate suits coming in telling you what to do. You've got the time. Remember, my buddies that are talking about the Everyman group, they got involved in the Keanu Reeves movie Johnny Mnemonic. Because it was a William Gibson enterprise, and it was going to be a really good film, except that the corporate suits came in and just told them what to do, how to do this, do that, do this, and before you knew it, it was Johnny Mnemonic, which is not a particularly good film.
I agree. Yeah.
And but you guys have sidestepped that, and that's the great thing about what's going on right now, is that you can sidestep the corporations and do it yourself. And yeah, you're not going to become millionaires and everything like that. Who needs to be a millionaire? If you're a millionaire, you need bodyguards.
I agree. But you can do what you like, what you love, and I love comics. I love doing comics. When I was starting out as a publisher, a small publisher, I didn't even write comics. I just felt good about myself just publishing them. So that's how I started, and I would say this is a kind of happy ending in a way that it says the end at the end of the comic, but it's there's a question mark after it, because we really don't want to be this. Really don't want this to be the end for us. This is just the beginning for us. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a little bit hungry and tired. I thought I would go out and eat something, and it's been.
I'm gonna have to leave anyway too. So
2 hours.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna finish this, but it's been so much fun having you guys here. I love European comics. European comics are, I think, sometimes a little more mature than American comics. You guys are gonna do great. I'm glad to have made your acquaintance and your friendship, and we'll do this again. With the next time you guys come out with a comic, or the next time you guys have a Kickstarter, let's do this again. Because I really enjoyed it.
Maybe for the next All-Star, maybe for White Meat, you can get you a cover for the sci-fi comic I did.
Great.
Monster comic.
Anything you want.
That's really nice of you.
Up to you.
Super.
Yeah, thanks a lot anyway. And thanks for the nice words, and thanks for the cover, and thanks for everything.
Well, I am more than appreciative of the opportunity just to hang out with two really cool guys, and it's one of the nice things about coming back into the comics world is getting to meet guys like you.
I call it the comic family.
You bet. Yeah.
Thank you very much, David, for having us. And I only want to say 2 words or 3: back or Kickstarter.
You bet. Yeah, back his Kickstarter. Go to AllStar. Go to AllStarComic.com and do it.
And it's gonna be an awesome cover you're painting here, David.
Yeah,
so.
We'll talk later about the exact specs. I got the proportions from your PDF that you sent me, and I just simply made sure that the proportions were correct. And there's 600 dots per inch, so you should be able to resize it any way you want.
Yeah, we can print a banner from your art as well.
Okay, super.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
So I'm so happy to see you.
Thank you.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Talk later.
I do not know how to. I don't know how to remove you guys from the stream. Let me see if I can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let me see.
Okay.
No, I can't kick you. They all these things are these are all punitive things. Other things when I do a right click, it says ban from studio, kick from studio. So you guys, I don't know what.
Remove from stream. That's what I.
Is that, okay.
Bye,
Okay, I'll
guys.
put remove. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Have a good work, David.
Okay, you think. Thank you. Bye bye. Okay. Wonderful guys, man. I'm glad I met them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep on working on this till well, probably till 1 o'clock or until my wife says get off the computer because you gotta eat or something like that. So let me see. Okay, now. Here one. Twice. Okay. See, I'll take myself off the stream so that better and it's like more areas. Getting there. Let's see. No, I'm my guests have parted. I'm looking. So, guess what I'll do with this is when I finish. Got it. I'm happy with it. Flatten it and then send it to. Let me see. Let me see if I can just. folks. See, I'm gonna put this. Dodge. My says on left here. Thing that I discovered with machine landscape. It says on it this thing just creating these brush strokes that became facets. This helps out higher contrast foreground. The coolest things happening in a while. We used to work with some really cool guys in comics. Yeah, don't show that level. Says already. Shadows. Shadows. Strong. Okay. You take the tiniest bit of break and back in a second. Like that. I'm almost finished with this. Smudging here. That. Okay, now there comes a certain point where you say, okay, now you must stop, because if you don't, you'll go work. I don't release it. I have it. I have. Put my headphones back on. I have pretty close to the character. Looking pretty close. That my little thing that I changed the slight temperature of that green. And he has a red cape, so I have a red cape. And it has this thing here, but I mean, it's like this. It's like that. See? So, I have hair. So. You were a boy. See that? He's coloring that we have.
Oh, John Saxon's guy.
He's wearing almost slightly different value. Blue here. Let me look. I'm going to do a few little extra things. Just a So Alex Golf is Hungarian. I think I in the back of my mind I knew that, but that's so cool since Alex Golf is here. Reservation. Gray common heroes. Guys who really it's a beautiful work. They didn't get much money for it. Well, I like when you see it's just like boom. I think that helps the kids' hair. It's just when you use a line, just it's it's just colored. So there. Sweetheart? Okay, so let's see. Yeah. Image. So that's the and pictures. So was 105 megabytes. Now it's 527 megabytes. Okay, 600 dots per inches. So, okay. Yeah, it's, so, flat. So, to a half a gigabyte. 10 gigabytes. Yeah. So, it's, so, let me, this one. Yeah. So, that's what we did today. I have friends hungry. See how we full screen. There we go. So go to AllStarComic.com. This Kickstarter campaign. Yourself involved in it. It's good. It's a long-term thing. It's going to turn into some comics. I recommend it. It's so cool. It's like Milan Kovacs and Fabian. So let's put this up.
And you can see I'm mumbling here,
So
I'm going to talk over here.
we'll see you on Monday. Start working on the
Okay, I'm going to
start working
move that. I've been watching this whole time.
on
So.
okay. Bye-bye.
Stop it, guys. Okay. I have been watching this Sunday afternoon. And I wanted to replay this for my friends Milan Kovacs and Steve Fabian. And so tomorrow I'll be working on H101 or something like that. And it'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning. And you can see I moved back into my Florida room because I got a little portable air conditioner. Hopefully the Sahara desert dust won't cause another heat wave, but it's okay now. That's to be back in this bigger room instead of that little converted bedroom. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow, and have a great Sunday. Take care of yourself.